Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, Patreon, and anything else I usually go about on Twitter X. Yesterday, I didn't manage to do a video on the gaming news side of things. I got a pretty busy day, so it was basically impossible for me. But later on, we will have another Death Stranding episode. And with all that said, sorry, everything is on playlist, all my content in the main page of the channel. So let's go to some news. Got some interesting stuff here. I did manage to cover kind of the TSMC the strategy on the fab manufacturing plants that they have. And again, one of the things that I said it will take time regarding having this setup and the try to reduce, for example, the prices of the chips that will come out from here from this Arizona fab factory is establishment of supply chains and all raw materials and all that jazz. And one of the components that I think I did manage to encompass here is the not the fab system, but advanced packaging facilities. And TMCC is planning to do this, but again, it will only be on the working side round about 2029, so by the end of the decade. So it will take a little bit there, and this will inflate the price of the chips because, again, after the chips are done here, until they have the packaging facility, the chips need to go to a packaging facility to go and do the packaging. Usually it has to do with setting up the chips in all that jazz. And again, it will ramp up the price because then you have to transport the chips to another place to go there. But this advancing packaging facility is going to be kind of connected inside this complex of fabrication system or complex on TSMC. Again, it's better because again it will be more easier to manufacture the chips and then assembling them on their final stage, being like APUs, I don't know, something for handhelds. Again, there is a lot of complexity when you are producing the chips. But yeah, they are still working on this. Again, supposedly this packaging facility will only be available round about to 2029, so it will still take a while. But they seem to be heading there, and basically, to a certain extent, do not bet all the eggs in the same basket to a certain degree. But yeah, we'll have to wait still a few years until this is basically done to the point that they can manufacturing all the in the example here next gen solutions, for example the AI accelerator stuff there, which need very advanced packaging solutions and facilities, which at this moment again they are being assembled on TSMC again. And again, to assemble this, you have to have a proper specified equipment and labor, and all of that will need to take some time there. But yeah, they are going and try to do the best they can there. We'll have to wait and see. Again, hopefully everything goes well, and again, hopefully there is more products in the market, which also to a certain degree, at least for the DIY consumer like us, it will eventually deliver better products at a cheaper price there. In terms of other stuff, we still have some reinforcements of the rumors of the RTX 50 Super Series. Um, Again, we are seeing some kind of dates here throwing at us here. Supposedly, there are some dates throwing around of the announcement of the Super Series, probably on the next CES or CX 2026. In this article here, they say here 2025. Again, it's a typo. It's 2026. Again, from the leak itself, earlier rumors suggesting a CES 2026 launch, but probably announcement. But based on more recent surveys, probably or even an holiday season release, which I'm not sure if. Again, the only reason that I can see something launching by the Christmas time this year is the fact that NVIDIA is not selling pretty much any kind of GPUs, at least comparatively with AMD at this point in time. And in terms of the overall market, we don't have like proper numbers, but I think that might be something regarding this that again 5000 series Blackwell in terms of the gaming GPUs has been a shit show. A lot of issues from hardware issues. Again, from coming from the missing ROPs, software support. Again, all of those things. We still have continuing, even though they are 2000 plus GPUs, the 5090 cable melting and connector melting there. I think some 5080s. Again, the only thing that again the fact that we have very low VRAM on the lineup itself. I think if they launch on this holiday season, it's mainly trying to correct this lack of VRAM on their own lineup. Given that probably again there will be the 3 GB modules in enough supply for them to launch this roundabout there. Again, it's not a certainty, but given 3 GB modules from GDDR7 memory, again, it's not something that it's in huge quantities over there around the market to be available to make a launch out of this. And it's very close to the original lineup, so I think they are in a type there, and I think they can manage. I think they have enough GPU chips there to do this, because mainly the only thing that you're going to see, supposedly according to the rumors of this super lineup, is a little bit extra VRAM, basically, and with that a little bit more power consumption, probably some correction on the frequencies here and there to achieve a little bit extra juice in terms of performance. The only thing that we've been going to see different besides the VRAM, probably the memory clocks of the 5080 Super are going to be a little bit more higher with the addition of that VRAM, and probably the only difference that we're going to see is the 5070 Super is going to have plus 4% in terms of CUDA cores than the 5070 to try and squeeze a little bit out of the 9070 competition. But yeah, other than that, again, it's the only way they might try to squeeze a little bit out a little bit more sales there. Uh, but even that, I'm not sure it's going to. Maybe they are going for a price correction also. Maybe they want to lower the official MSRPs of the non-super or non-TI lineup there, and again probably launch this super lineup or super TI lineup again, depending on how they're going to name it, in different models, to try and replace this super with the current MSRPs of of the GPUs, and then try to correct the non-super. Oh my god, the non-super GPUs to a lower prices to be more competitive with at least the competition with AMD. Given that the 9070 XT, if when it's found on MSRP, it's still a pretty good choice. The same thing can be said to a certain degree with the 9060 XT, which is the 16 GB variant. But yeah, we'll have to wait for official words. But we've been seeing a lot of movement in the rumors of the super lineup there. In terms of other things regarding GPUs, Moore's Law is that they launched their I think bi-weekly. I never sure what how long what's the way they launched their episodes, but I watched one with a little bit more information regarding RDNA 5. And I think the next generation will only be available in 2027, so it will still take a while. Kind of makes sense that if it was around next year, they have some super lineup series, and if AMD has something in their pocket, they can throw it with the surprise with the 9080 XE. Some rumors that we heard here and there, which I think it's feasible, but I don't think it's very probable. But RDNA 5 supposes is going to try and tackle the fight of the Halo products with the 6090, lack of official wording for those GPUs. But yeah, a lot of interesting things on the rumor side of things. But again, I always prefer a little bit more official words and to have a better sense of what to expect from these companies. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe by the end of the summer, maybe September, October, if there is going to be something regarding the Super Series, we might see something like that there. In other stuff, we got a fest which was a recent Unreal Fest 2025 in Orlando. Again, I'm not sure when this occurred, but we got an interesting, I don't know, talk that was dedicated to basically the issues with Unreal Engine in terms of stuttering. The talk itself was called the Great Hitch Hunt. And this senior Unreal Engine software engineer did tackle like I think the 7 or 6 main issues. Not that the engine has, but again, some fields that he advises the game developers to focus on to avoid the stuttering that we see a lot on Unreal Engine games. Again, this is a huge interview, or at least a lot of text here. I managed to underline kind of the most important stuff there. Yeah, 7 primary causes. Sorry, itches and stutters. The first one is level streaming. Again, a lot of technical conversations here, which can be a little bit boring. Which is really more of a category that includes a family of hitches related to loading or unloading parts of game worlds. And usually, common cause is misuse of static mesh actors for static geometry. Again, it's a lot of technical terms here. Another thing is the physics part of the engine there. And one of the main errors that or misuses of for example, the nanite technology on Unreal Engine 5 is the developers believe that they could simply drop a complex mesh in their worlds and basically the nanite magically will work around that without any issues on trying to work around that and optimize for that. There is another one which is actor spawning itch. Again, complex actors, again, with many components like skeletal meshes, animations, I suppose also routines and the such. Um, they can take several milliseconds to spawn again when there is that, I don't know, a pinpoint when you go around in the world and that character has to load. Again, if there is a lot of stuff that it's associated with a character, again, it can cause noticeable frame drops. I think it's one of the issues that we've been seeing with Oblivion Remaster because it's an open world game. And again, a lot of the issues that we're seeing with Unreal Engines, usually it's more about the open world, and again, a lot of stuff streaming into like a lot of stuff streaming in the open world, the characters that are loading on the background and all that stuff. I think one of these is might be this issue. We got another, the fourth one, the most common instance of stutter in PC gaming is pipeline state object, which is a shader compilation stuff there. Again, usually this is very easy to do on a console because it's just one hardware. You only optimize for that hardware and it's ready to go. While, for example, again, PC, basically, I don't know, virtual infinite permutations of the hardware that can be used. So there's always that problem of trying to, again, and the fact that if you have to ship a game with all the permutations, again, it will be an impossible size game. That you can understand that. But yeah, the fact that it's kind of difficult to optimize for this, and I think it's one of the things that we've been seeing developers focus first is this kind of pipeline state object compilation, which is trying to put the more information that they can so on the permutations available, so that the compiler can do the best job possible and avoid this stuttering from this specific instances here. There is another one which is garbage collection itch. Usually happens when there are too many unused U object instances, causing the garbage collect take too long and provoke stutters. Again, I assume this is kind of stuff that is around the world that is streaming in and out of the world itself when it needs to appear on the player side of things. I'm assuming, again, it's an issue and can cause some stuttering or hitches along the way the player session. The sixth one is called synchronous loading itch. Supposedly it occurs when blocking asset load stall the game thread until the asset finish loading, causing very long itches. Again, when something is loading on the background, that needs to be loaded on the world and might take more time, and again it causes the, I don't know, the hitch or the stuttering on the instance that the player is going through there. And then the lastly, blueprint and content hitches caused by developers doing too much work in blueprints or content scripts. Basically, for example, tick too many boxes of variations of certain things, Bluetooth sequences, audio skeleton animators overloading the system. Again, um, as you can imagine, the game engine might be pretty good if it is well optimized. But again, if you just overload the engine itself, the engine itself has a lot of limitations per se. Because again, it's not an infinite. I don't know. It's not an infinite tool in the sense that you can just tick all boxes with everything that you want and magically stuff will work. But yeah, in the closing note, he said that all game developers that remind that all game developers that despite the many advances in hardware and software, game development still has to embrace limitations. Again, I think that's the philosophy here. Um, yeah, you need to optimize specifically on I think on the real game engines, and specifically on open world games when you have a lot of variations of stuff that can happen on open world. I think a little bit more time on the development cycle of a game to optimize the game. It's best suited so the game launches in proper conditions. We don't see a lot usually issues with more linear games in Unreal Engine 5 because again they are supposedly are or easier to optimize again instead of open worlds, which is the bigger challenge. Even though we saw, of course, throughout the years, huge improvements on all engines. But yeah, I think it's kind of the same situation to a certain extent that we've been seeing to the Moon engine, so the Resident Evil engine that we've seen, for example, Monster Hunter Worlds, or Worlds, no, Wild, sorry, still not working pretty well on the PC. And also Dragon's Dogma 2, it had a lot of issues, mainly on the overloading the CPU. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the engineers themselves didn't introduce a lot of the tools that Unreal Engine has, and certain scenarios that are not optimized for in the open world instances. Because on the more linear games, like for example, Resident Evil remakes, the game works pretty well from what I understand. Those games, so I think it's more about the open world and everything has to the routines, the assets, everything, the NPCs, the routines of the NPCs, everything that has to be coming in and out, loading, unloading. It is what is basically overloading the engine itself. But yeah, interesting thing to see here. Then you got supposedly Sony files a lawsuit against Tencent for again the alleged clone Light of Motiram. Interestingly enough, I think Tencent approached Sony to make a Horizon game at the time, but they were I don't know, they were rejected on that, and supposedly they work on their own game. Again, I think the main similarity here is the setting itself, in the sense that it's kind of um, post-apocalyptic game where you have like more tribal peoples that are fighting machines, animal machines, basically. That it's kind of the setup, like the very very broad stroke setup here. And I don't think it's worth the lawsuit here, but usually Japanese companies are very protective of their own IPs and anything regarding them. Again, Horizon is a single player focused more on the more RPG side of things, kind of an action adventure game with some RPG elements. While Light of Motiram is, I'm not really sure if it is. I think it has some MMO qualities to it, if not mistaken, but they are more focused on the survival part of the game. Um, Again, we'll have to wait and see what this happens. Again, this is kind of a thing with Nintendo on the Pokemon and the Pal World kind of a thing there. I think it's going to they're going to try the kind of the same tactics for sure. But yeah, it's something I don't like that much to see from Japanese companies being overwhelmingly protective of their own IPs. But yeah, it's to a certain degree it's a cultural thing there. But I'm interested to see how well it does this Light of Motiram game here, given that it's very similar in the setting of the game, on the setup of the game, which is post-apocalyptic, more primitive tribes fighting mechanical monsters or mechanical animals. It's the only thing that might be as a setup. Again, it's like trying to movies that are trying to uh, push a lawsuit to a movie that have kind of the same setup, but it's completely different. Again, it's one of those things. Hopefully, they can resolve the issues here, and that there's hopefully there is nothing similar that is happening with Pal World and the Pokemon franchise there. Hopefully, they can resolve the issues and reach a conclusion that it's not a clone. That's for sure. And again, you can check the main character differences for the starter there. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how this will unfold. Then we got again. There seems to be some ramping up on Cronos: The New Dawn side of things, which is good. We got a Q&A. Again, the headline here is we want to cook this one a bit differently. Again, it's kind of the headline only. Again, pretty interesting. I read the interview itself here. It's a lot of stuff here. I'm not going all over here, but again, it gives them a little bit more details, kind of the setup, where is placed. Go a little bit on the influences. I already covered that, but there were some highlights here on the game mechanics here. One of them is backtracking. Is going to be a thing in the game. There's optional routes, which is always good. Exploration is new part of Chronos. Is also placed to the difficulty. If you want to explore, you're probably going to have a hard time, but that's a challenge that you're imposing on yourself. There is another question that was made that seems interesting. How much will players to be able to backtrack and return to much earlier areas in the Cronos: The New Dawn, which is something interesting here because I didn't have that sense that you can go to earlier areas. But again, the response here, I need to bite my tongue. I cannot really share anything, but I only say that it opens up. I'll put it that way, which is something interesting here that while you unlock more tools, then eventually you can head back and go to earlier levels to unlock, I don't know, other stuff there, which is something interesting. And then there is a question here. One of the things that you hinted at before we got into the demo, because there was a demo played before this Q&A, was there would be different survivors to recruit, and we could choose whether we wanted to save them or not. Will this decision impact either the levels that you go into or you can proceed? Again, the response basically is again this, which is something that was not aware, survivors that you can recruit. Again, I think you can kind of save them and leave them to them in terms of the choices that you can make, and then there will be consequences by the end of the game, it seems. Again, they didn't enter in any kind of details there, but it gives the sense that it's something that you can, I don't know, augment the replayability of the game, because supposedly the endings should be a little bit different. At least that's the sense that I got. But yeah, interesting Q&A here. And with that Q&A, they also launch a new gameplay, 35 minutes. Again, extensive gameplay, some edits here and there. I suppose some of the sequences are to avoid a little bit of spoilers, but it's not something huge there. And it seems that it's more on the beginning of the game. Because you start with a pistol, then you catch up with the shotgun thing there and other tools that you catch up throughout this 45 minutes gameplay. Gives a little bit more of the sense of the exploration. Um, on the gameplay session there that is here on YouTube, they avoid going through the alternative paths, because you can see while the player goes through the path, the linear path or the main path, you can see there are certain things that you can explore, but it doesn't explore. It just goes through and go through the main path, which is something very interesting. That I like to see how the exploration is going to affect. Again, the fact that you need to pull up resources, and those resources then will you can manufacture, for example, more ammo or more healing items and the such. Again, there is a lot of balance that you need to achieve there, and with the exploration, you can get extra stuff, from what I understand. It goes about also, and the gameplay goes until you find the first time rift or something that they're calling there in game. But yeah, I did enjoy very much. There is some kind of boss battle there, a little bit of the boss battle there. So you have a sense of what kind of tools you can use and weapons and how to go about it there. But yeah, very interesting. This 35 minutes also. I watched all of them and I really enjoyed. Plus, in conjunction with the previous 22 minutes or so that it launched like a couple of days ago. Again, very interesting stuff. I did enjoy to see this. I'm very excited for this game. And again, the gameplay footage that we saw, pretty solid, fluid, so there is no stuttering here. I think this game is going to be pretty good because Bloober team is, I think they are accustomed to work with Unreal Engine. So I think this is going to be a good launch because they did the Silent Hill 2 remake, which I think is also in Unreal Engine. It had some issues here and there, but Silent Hill seems to be more open areas than this game. So I'm assuming that this game is going to have not a lot of issues at launch. At least that's my perception. Again, no definitive launch date except for fall of this year. So I don't know if they're going to announce a trailer with a official launch date. I think they are still fine tuning and optimizing the game there. But yeah, interesting stuff to see here. Then we got Microsoft or Xbox announced the 2025 plans there. Again, a lot of stuff here. The only thing that, again, might interest me at this moment that I caught here from everything that they are coming through, it's not even from first party stuff. Again, it's the Cronos, the New Dawn, and Onimusha Way of the Sword are the games that are more interesting to me. We'll see if we have any more updates or more specifics about these games here. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff here. Grounded 2, I think it's Grounded 2, launched an early access now on Steam, if not mistaken. From the review of the early access that I saw, it seems a good follow up of the first game. But again, early access games, it's always a little bit, I don't know, something that it's on the umbrella of Microsoft. I don't know why they launch early access again. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And then lastly, we got, I will leave it here with legendary drops, with this commentary regarding more focused on the Steam situation and the payment processor. Again, I usually recommend these videos, or at least there is script videos, because usually can express a lot of the stuff that I think about, and he express more, I don't know, fluently than me. And it goes about, again, the only thing that I think it was not updated at this point on this video was the oh my god, how it calls that game, the indie game with the itch situation. They again, mouth watching. The only thing that I think he was not updated on the situation of was mouth watching, because it's something that only yesterday or maximum 2 days ago that we had any kind of updates regarding that situation. Mouth watching on each IO and Steam stuff there. But other than that, again, I think is kind of an on point on the broad picture. Uh, we need to go about and make our voices heard and complain. And again, I think avoiding as best as we can using their services, because again, the end point of this video basically is these companies, they just listen to money. And yeah, basically that's it. And to a certain extent, the the image that they have will might influence their behavior there also. But yeah, it's always good to listen from him because he's a very logic guy. He expresses stuff very well, and he usually always on point. And I basically agree with him. I don't know. So far, 95 to 99% of the things that he tackles. So yeah, always a good mention for legendary drops. Uh, let's go for some gaming deals and wrap up this one. We still have Plague Tale games. They are still on sale. I will leave both of them for you to check them out if you want to. We got the Seto Corsa Competizione. Some gaming games, some racing games are on sale at this moment on Steam. Assetto Corsa is one of the better ones. At least that's the perception that I got here. Forza Horizon, interesting enough, is not on sale, at least at the moment of recording. But yeah, you got this one. Again, got a lot of editions. Again, I don't really know for sure how this works here. We got also Atomic Heart still on sale, 70% off on all editions. We got Bionic Bay, base game, 30% off. We got Guardians of the Galaxy, very interesting game, 85% off. Then we got Midnight Suns. Again, I do recommend this one. Kind of a XCOM game with some deck building options. I did a gameplay series on this one. I did manage to claim this game for free on Epic Game Store a while back, and I did a series. So I think the first couple of episodes will give you a good sense of what this game is about. But yeah, if you like XCOM with the twist of deck building, I think this is a pretty good game. We got Pacific Drive now. It's the deluxe edition that is on sale, so 50% off, which is always good to see. Then we got this interesting game. I kind of covered. Seems an interesting parkour game, and so far, basically, almost overwhelming positive feedback from everybody. Again, it's a parkour game, so you got free roam and different stuff there. Seems a pretty good game if you enjoy this kind of games. Again, got something for you to maybe check out there, and it's 15% off at this moment. Then we got Sharkpunk, 45% off on the base game and 31% off on the deluxe edition. And finally, we got The Invincible, kind of more in line of being a first-person narrative-driven game. Again, 50% off. Seems to be very positive feedback from everybody. A lot of reviews here. But yeah, I will leave it with that. I'll wrap up here with a plug on my Patreon as usual for extra support. You know the thing again, trying to get enough for a better storage solution for everything that is for my work related stuff and also extra space for the videos on the channel. With all that said, hope have an awesome day and I will see you in the next one. So till then, Kunami Master out.